This chamber will come to order. Welcome everyone to the East Brunswick Township Council meeting for July 22nd, 2024. Everyone please rise if you can for our Pledge of Allegiance to our nation. Remain standing for a moment. Personal reflection. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Township Clerk, will you please call roll, read our statement of adequate notice.
Councilmember Hall.
Here.
Councilman Wendell.
Here.
Councilwoman Winston.
Here.
Councilwoman Zembicki. Absent. Council President McAvoy.
Here.
Also present, Mayor Brad Cohen.
Here.
Administrator Joseph Cosculo.
Here.
And Township Attorney Anthony Iacoca.
Here.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as required under Chapter 231, Public Law, 1975, by specifying the time, date, location, and to the extent known, the agenda, by posting a copy on the bulletin board located in the main lobby of the East Brunswick Municipal Building, providing a copy to the Home News Tribune and the Asbury Park Press newspapers, posting a copy on the Township's website, and by filing a copy in the office of the Township Clerk, which will be entered into the minutes.
Thank you. Council, you have before you Resolution 24-222, adopting the meeting minutes from our July 8th, 2024 meeting. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Is there a need for correction or clarification on these minutes? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall.
Yes.
Councilman Wendell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston.
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes. Council, we have two mayoral proclamations this evening. The first is recognizing the month of July as Park and Recreation Month. Councilwoman Winston will entertain the proclamation.
Thank you, Council President. Proclamation for Parks and Recreation Month. Whereas Parks and Recreation is an integral part of communities throughout this country, including East Brunswick. And whereas Parks and Recreation promotes health and wellness, improving the physical and mental health of people who live near parks. And whereas Parks and Recreation promotes time spent in nature, which positively impacts mental health by increasing cognitive performance and well-being, and alleviating illnesses such as depression, attention deficit disorders, and Alzheimer's. And whereas Parks and Recreation encourages physical activities by providing space for popular sports, hiking trails, swimming pools, and many other activities designed to promote active lifestyles. And whereas Parks and Recreation is fundamental to the environmental well-being of our community. And whereas our parks and natural recreation areas ensure the ecological beauty of our community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature and recreate outdoors. And whereas the U.S. House of Representatives has designated July as Parks and Recreation Month. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Brad J. Cohen, Mayor of Township of East Brunswick, and the Township Council, do hereby recognize July as Parks and Recreation Month and express deep gratitude to Michael Reisner and his employees.
Any comments from council?
I just think, our Parks and Rec department is second to none. So,
Agree.
All right. If no ifs, ands, or buts on that one.
agree.
Next, we have a proclamation recognizing our hometown hero, Sam Mattis, for his athletic achievements. Mr. and Mrs. Mattis, would you care to join me? We've done this before, I think.
12 years ago.
We've done it a couple of times, that's for sure. So whereas Sam Mattis, a 2012 graduate of East Brunswick High School, has been referred to as the greatest discus thrower in the history of New Jersey. During his junior and senior years, he won the Group 4 sectional championship, the Group 4 state championship, won the New Jersey Meet of Champions, He was two-time New Balance high school national champion and one-time Penn Relay champion as a high school athlete. And whereas Sam went on to the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania, where he earned a bachelor's degree in economics. While competing for the Quakers, he achieved many accolades, including three-time NC2A All-American, four-time IC4A discus champion. And I thought my fourth place in 1972 was pretty cool. This is
He gets it from me.
That was just starters.
I think there's a cross-pollination of the genes here, because we do go back. There was time back in 2010, 2011, 2012, where the Mattises, just like you as parents, did not miss a single meet. Anyway, first team All-Ivy honors, four-time. And in 2015, he was awarded the NC2A National Scholar Athlete of the Year by the NCAA Coaches Association. And he was the NC2A Discus Champion in 2015. Whereas Sam competed in the 2022 Olympics in Tokyo, finishing 8th. At the 2024 Olympic trials, he finished in second place, qualifying to compete in the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris, which will be beginning this Friday. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Brad J. Cohn of the Township of East Brunswick, the Township Council, the residents of East Brunswick, and the nation congratulate Sam on all of his accomplishments and wish him luck in the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. Be it further proclaimed that Civic Center Drive shall be renamed Sam Mattis Way, beginning on the 22nd of July and running through August 11, 2024. Signed under my hand and the Great Seal of the Township of East Brunswick, this the 22nd day of the year 2024. The Honorable Mayor Brad J. Cohn. How about a word or two, please?
Oh, she speaks much better, more eloquent than I do.
I just want to say thank you. Sam's a product of this community. He had a great education and felt a lot of friendship and guidance and love from the community. So thank you very much.
Thank you. He also, he felt a pretty deep need to show up Mr. McAvoy, who has been pretty good at the hurdles, as everyone knows. I have some pictures of him from 50 years ago.
Oh, my God.
Jumping over hurdles. But he's had, no, it's, as my wife said, this community is fantastic, and, you know, we're so glad to be a part of it. I'm glad that, you know, you folks have actually taken the time out of your busy schedules to recognize a little kid who, you know, we're proud of, and it's really nice to know that, you know, the pride goes throughout the community. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I just wanted to, first of all, congratulate you on his Sam's enormous amount of success. It doesn't go unnoticed. I think apples don't fall far from the tree, and I think a community helps in creating a lot of our success. Our schools are well known, but I think that people like Sam serve as an example to everybody else on what truly is possible here in public school education. I remember being on the Board of Education when he got his diploma. I have to say I was a little jealous because there's just so many people that could be good at athletics and good at music, because he was an accomplished musician as well, and clearly an academic. So that does not go unnoticed, and that's very possible with a good family, a good community, and a good education. And I think that's why a lot of people choose to move here. And I wish Sam the absolute best in the Olympics ahead of him and in life in general. But we're actually enormously proud of him, and he really serves as an example to all students here in East Brunswick.
No,
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, folks.
I do want to wish Sam Mathis all the best for upcoming 2024 Olympics. Sam has already made East Brunswick proud. Now he's on his way to make the entire nation proud. So all the best, Sam.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And if anyone's awake at 4 a.m. on August 5th, that's when he's competing.
Very good.
I am.
It should be on Peacock, but again, crazy
Good.
time.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Council, before you have a Resolution 23-233 honoring and accepting retirement of Joanne Lesko. Second. Councilman Wendell,
I'd like to read this into
read the
record.
resolution, please. Thank you.
Resolution 24-223, resolution honoring and accepting the retirement of Joanne Lesko. Whereas Joanne Lesko submitted written notification to the Township of East Brunswick that she will retire from the East Brunswick Police Department effective August 1st, 2024. Whereas Joanne began her career with the Township of East Brunswick as a dispatcher for the East Brunswick Police Department in June of 1989, a position from which she retires effective August 1st, 2024. Whereas throughout her 35 years of service to the Township, she demonstrated exemplary characteristics to the Township of East Brunswick through her work ethics, dedication, leadership, team spirit, and enthusiasm to her duties. Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of East Brunswick that Joanne's retirement is hereby accepted with an effective date of August 1st, 2024. Be it further resolved by the Mayor and Township Council of the Township of East Brunswick that they hereby extend their sincere and grateful appreciation to Joanne Lesko for her 35 years of dedication and outstanding service to the Township of East Brunswick, and congratulate her on her well-earned retirement and wish her happiness and good health in the years to come.
Once you get into that 30 mark,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people retire, 27 years, 25, 29, 29 years, and then you get into the 30s, ooh. Councilman, yes.
Let everyone know that an average career length of a 911 or 911 dispatcher is 7 to 8 years. So when somebody works here for 35 years and retires at the same job, it's amazing. Thank you very much for your service, Ms. Lesko.
Roll call, please, on this resolution.
Councilmember Hall,
Yes.
Councilman Wendell,
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston,
Yes.
and Council President McAvoy.
Yes. At this time, please welcome Mr. John Farina, who will speak to us regarding the municipal audit. Mr. Farina, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. My name is John Farina. I work for PKF O'Connor Davies, and we did the 2023 audit of the Township of East Brunswick. I also have with me Carmela Silipina. She was the supervisor on the job. She did a great job keeping the engagement moving forward, constant communication with the finance department and East Brunswick personnel to get the job done as efficiently as possible. I'd like to start by thanking Angel, Sylvia, Vivian, Joe, Tamar, everybody really for their cooperation during the audit. The end result is a 200-page document, but what you don't see is that we put in hundreds of man-hours into getting the job done, and that's on our end. There's also a reciprocal requirement of time from the East Brunswick Township personnel to get the job done, and we can't get it done without quick responses and accurate documentation. Last year, we presented the audit in September. It's July now, so hopefully we're moving up a little bit earlier each year, and hopefully we'll continue to do that as the state gets back on a more normal schedule and providing us pension and post-employment benefit documentation that we need to complete the job. So I'm here just to give a brief overview of the audit and to answer any questions you may have. The most important part of the 200-page document is the audit opinion. I'm happy to say that, again, this year, the township earned an unmodified opinion, which is the highest level of opinion that we are allowed to issue. Major part of our audit is testing internal controls, which means we test guard the or we test the safeguards and processes that the township has in place to over payroll, over cash disbursements and revenue. And aside for two minor issues, everything came back fine, which is a good indicator that the township has good controls. Also, for every audit, we have to assess whether or not the client spent $750,000 or more in either state or federal funding. In this case, the township spent $750,000 in state funding, which triggered a single audit, which requires us to look at specific grants and test compliance requirements for those grants. And this year, we were required to test the New Jersey Department of Transportation grants, and I'm happy to say there were no instances of noncompliance in any of those tests. Overall, the township, we feel, is in good financial position. The current fund balance increased to about $33 million. Revenues that were budgeted, most of them exceeded, the actual revenues exceeded what was budgeted. And as far as the utility funds go, you have 5 utilities. All of the fund balances in those utilities increased except for sewer utility, which decreased due to a large investment in capital improvements for the utility. And there was a slight decrease in swim pool utility fund balance, and parking remained the same, but there was a required contribution from the current fund to keep that the same. And as you know, the parking utility is still feeling the effects of the COVID pandemic and remote working that resulted from that. So that's just a brief overview of our audit, and if anybody has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Well, per se, the document I have not received, so
Okay.
are you coming back, Mr. Farina, for our next
I'm not-
meeting?
If you need somebody
If we
here, we
need.
can. Yes.
That's different. Look
Okay.
over the document,
Okay.
and you're telling me that nothing's going to be jumping off the page, so
No.
go right to that. You said 200 pages, go to about page 197, somewhere around there. And,
Yes, yep.
you know, tells you to go back to page 98 and go back to page 142. And, but nothing, like you said, nothing
No,
jumping off
nothing
the
major,
page at this particular time that we should be worried or concerned about.
No.
Counsel? Thank you, Mr. Farina.
Okay, thank you.
Council, we have before us 2 ordinances for a second reading and public comment. First, ordinance 24-20. Council, Township Clerk, could you please read?
A capital ordinance appropriating $3,675,000 from the Sewer Utility Capital Improvement Fund to provide for various sewer utility improvements in and by the Township of East Brunswick, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey.
May I have a motion
Motion to adopt.
and a second?
Second.
Any council comment on this particular?
Just wanted to say, these are not we're not bonding for this money. This money is coming out of a capital fund that the sewer utility has. Just so everybody's clear, this is not that we're going to borrow any money.
I'll open this up to the public now. Is anyone from the public wishing to speak on this matter and this matter only? Sir.
Michael DeLucia, 28 Parker Street. I just only had the question, I know, apartments are going up in this town and have been going up in this town, and you're talking about sewer and improvement or whatever. So my question is that, are they paying into this? I would assume that some part of it is because of them, I would think. I don't know. So that would be my question.
Do you want to? Sure.
When any new user goes into our sewer system or water system, they pay what is called a connection fee. So every dwelling, every if it's a two-family home even, each one of them will pay a fee to connect to our system. So every one of those units pays what is known as a connection fee, and that's pretty much standard throughout New Jersey in the industry. So whenever a new user comes on, they have to pay the fee to get on the line.
Okay, I think that was my question, but my question was really towards, the apartments that were moved in here, because...
Each apartment
Okay.
pays
And
one
you're
connection
talking about
fee.
in this case, because, and the only reason why I questioned it, because I saw in other towns where they go into these kind of deals with, things being built, and they make they try to do it with the town and the state as well. And sometimes they don't pay those connection fees, and that's why I was asking the question.
They pay connection fees here.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Hey, Mike, before you go, what is your street address for the record?
28 Parker Street? Parker, P-A-R-K.
Parker. Thank you.
Right.
Anyone else wishing to comment on this issue? Seeing none, I'll close that public portion. Township, our second ordinance is ordinance 24 hyphen.
Got a call.
Oh, we didn't do roll call. I beg your pardon. Thank you, Councilman Wendell. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy?
Yes. Ordinance 24 hyphen 21. Township Clerk, would you please read?
A capital ordinance appropriating $2,025,000 from the Water Utility Capital Improvement Fund to provide for various water utility improvements in and by the Township of East Brunswick, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved.
Second.
Second.
I'll now open this to the public. Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak on ordinance 24 hyphen 21? Seeing none, I'll close the public portion. Comments from council? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy?
Yes. Now move our meeting over to our reports section, and Mayor Cohn.
Thank you, Council President. A few short things. I know on your agenda tonight is a resolution to approve the bids for the hockey rink. They were broken up into both the building portion and the ice portion. I just want to publicly thank all of the people who have for several years now within our department and many of our residents who've been part of the ice rink committee that have been working with our staff for hanging in there on an extraordinarily long project. The government requirements that go into public bidding for something that's that big is extensive, and personally, I think meant a little bit of an overreach in many instances, but it's done for a purpose, and that's to make sure that the public could be confident that the township didn't just award things to their friends. It went out on a public bidding process with a very specific bid package that describes what we're looking for, and we're obligated at the end of the day to take the lowest responsible bidder, and that's done in a way in which the public at the end of the day should be assured that it was done in a fair and equal process. And while it may be frustrating at times to go through the legal wranglings between the state and the township and the department, but at the end of the day, I'm happy to be able to provide to you a bid package that when you do it the right way and we go through dotting the I's and crossing the T's, we have a package in front of you that actually is coming in at less cost than what you approved a bond for to begin with. And I think we should be very proud of that. So that's before you this evening. The other thing I wanted to report, I know that on a regular basis, our police department does a very good job on their site of publishing crime statistics for the township on a monthly basis so that people in town can have a sense of what is going on around them in terms of crime. I put on Facebook today, and I'd be more than happy to share it with whoever wants, not only that the monthly stats up to the end of June, which is essentially a half a year for the year 2024, but I also gave a look back from 2018 to now. And I think we just owe our police a debt of gratitude. They are doing a phenomenal job keeping crime in this town to an extremely low level. I will never say we don't have any crime. If we didn't have any crime, we wouldn't need police to begin with. Crime occurs around us all the time. Our goal is to keep it under control and to make sure that people feel safe in this township. And to be, for a town our size, our statistics really show that that's exactly what's going on. Where there are trends that could occur from time to time. The only things that I see that stand out in our crime statistics over the last 6 years or so is that there's been a dramatic drop in the number of drug-related crimes. That's primarily because of bail reform and legalization of marijuana. Things that were crimes before are not crimes any longer. There was a small bubble of increase in car theft, which was a problem going throughout the state. Continues to this day. But we were like most other towns in 22, that was the peak. 21 and 22, sort of the either side of that peak. And so far this year, we seem to be trending lower, which is great. And I think that what it shows is a township that's well run and has police that really have their pulse on what's going on and keeping us safe, which is our primary job here in government. So I give kudos to them, to our Office of Emergency Management, John Cossack, all of our dispatchers, one of which retired today, all who work together to keep the town safe. And then finally, I want to thank the individuals here this evening who helped bring you the township audit. I know numbers sound kind of dry and boring, but at the end of the day, we're talking about an $80 million entity in this township, and managing that level of finance is extremely complicated. On top of managing all of the departments of the township, our CFO is also managing the 5 utilities that the auditor spoke about: our water, our sewer, the pool, the parking, and the police range. All 5 of them are utilities. She manages the library budget, and she manages the redevelopment agency budget. So this is a person who's got a lot on her plate. She has a great department working with her, and when you can have somebody come in who has no political stake in the game on this and just looks at the finances of your township and tells you that you're really doing a good job, and the findings that they come up with are so marginal and meaningless for a budget this size, I think they deserve credit for doing a really terrific job under sometimes very difficult circumstances. So your town is well run. You are living in a very safe town. And you heard tonight a resolution or proclamation supporting the Parks and Recreation, which helps provide some of the quality of life things that make living in this township enjoyable. So I think on a great, 40,000-foot view, we're in a really good place, and I'm really happy that those of you who came out tonight and anybody who will be listening had an opportunity to hear those 3 different facets, because that's what makes us unique. So thank you.
Our Business Administrator, Mr. Criscuolo.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you also for passing those 2 ordinances. People don't realize, we have some sewer pipes in the ground that are, 50 years old. Recently this week, we're doing work on New Brunswick Avenue, ductile iron pipe that it's collapsing and so on. So it's necessary to take care of that infrastructure to keep things flowing. Also, water lines are even older than that, 60 years old and so on. So we're trying to stay ahead of that, provide people with good, clean, palatable water. And that's hats off to our ladies and gentlemen who work in the water utility. Last council meeting, there was a group of people that asked us to take a look at Fern Road from Cranberry to Old Stage Road. The mayor and I met with the engineering department and their traffic safety unit, and they will, commence a study when the proper equipment is available to be placed out there. Also, we are taking a look at Ruse Lane at Hillsdale, when there's been some, there was an accident there on Friday. The mayor and I met with the Detective Bureau, and the traffic unit is gathering statistics in our engineering department. We'll be looking at that as well. So, we'll study that area, and we'll try to figure out what the causes are on some of these accidents and see if there's a way to remediate it or move forward with that. So, as the mayor always says, we're always looking at making the community better, and that's everywhere from parks, recreation, police, engineering. We don't stop. So I'd like to, what I'm circling back to is always thank you for your support, and most of the time when we need some funds to do something, you support it with good, hard facts and numbers. So I'd like to thank the council for supporting the project so we can continue to provide the level of service that our residents deserve. So thank you.
You're welcome. Our attorney, Mr. Iacocca.
Thank you, Council President. On the agenda is Ordinance 24-22 for first reading, amending the Ethics Code. I would request that this be removed from the agenda.
So be it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else, Mr. Iacocca?
No, sir.
Okay. Council, any reports, council reports or board reports? Seeing none. Township clerk?
Nothing to report.
Nothing to report. How about if we open the meeting to the public for comment? Ms. Lawful, please read our public comment statement.
The public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. In accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A and the East Brunswick Rules of Council, the council asks the public to limit their comments to 5 minutes or less. At the conclusion of the statements or questions from a member of the public, the council president, at his discretion, may choose to respond or not respond.
Anyone wishing to address council president? Please. Mr. DeLuca.
Michael DeLucia, 28 Parker Street. I wanted to ask about, I saw one of the meetings that something was changed in one of the plans, I guess, to put townhouses. And to pay for the townhouses, I guess, instead of apartments, in one of the meetings that I heard from you, right? So my question is that, the only reason why I ask these questions is because I was going to buy a house in Plumstead at one time, and they had gone into plans where they pay the developer, or the developer works out a deal with the town and the state. And in turn, when they do that, sometimes they're given things from the state and they're given things from the town where they don't pay those storage fees, okay? And that happened in Plumstead, so that was the case. So at this point in time, that they changed it to the apartments, and you have worked out deals with these people. You've worked out deals with the apartments that are there to get money in lieu of taxes, okay? So I guess, how long is that going to go on for, money in lieu of taxes? That's one question. And then the other question is that if these houses are going to be, they're going to be townhouses, believe that's what I heard. I don't remember what the number was, but I know it was townhouses that they said. And, I don't understand, what are they going to do when they finish these townhouses? Are they going to pay a tax, or are they going to be still paying money in lieu of taxes? Because there is a difference, okay? And there's a difference to the homeowner as well. There's also a difference to the state as well in some of the state programs, okay? So that's why I'm asking these questions, okay? Because when you pass that resolution to let them change to apartments, or townhouses, I should say, there was no questions on the council. I think Mr. McAvoy made some comments, but none of the other council members asked any other questions about it, and I was kind of surprised that no questions were asked about it, because you're going from one form of renting apartments to selling houses, okay? And your deal with these developers seems to be money in lieu of taxes. And at the same time, when you do that, you take money away from the Township Board of Education. You also take money away from the county government as well. And being that 70 or 60 or 70% of our taxes are going towards the Board of Education, I think that's a viable question to ask. And I don't see that it's ever been answered, okay? And so that's my couple of questions, if someone can answer that.
Well, we're not going to get into a question and answer here, Mr. DeLuca, between you and I, but...
Well, it's not a question between you and I. It's
No,
a question between the council
And we'll take care of that,
and the
because we have
members.
your address, and we have the
Like-
township clerk who
yeah.
will get back to you.
Right, okay, but I think the public should know as well, because I don't see anything in there as well. And I even said, how long
Right.
is this going to last, that you're going to pay this, or getting this
And
money?
that's how you see it. So when we get back to you, you can come back to our next meeting and then just share the difference between what we say and what you think.
Well, it's not what I think. I'm saying I don't see it.
Okay.
So I can't think
And again,
either
the
way.
the explanation will be, you will receive
All right.
a statement.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Councilman Wendell?
I'd just like to point out that Mayor Cohen has done so many, sorry. Mayor Cohen has done so many presentations on pilot payment programs versus taxes and how the money gets distributed and the increase in revenue that comes from redeveloping these properties. And I'm sure there's many, many YouTubes that can be found probably on the township website that explain the whole thing. And if you want,
Not from your seat, Mr. DeLuca, okay. It's okay.
It's on the EBTV YouTube webpage, are all those presentations. So they're just like all the council meetings are. So Mr. Wendell is correct. Those presentations are there. And those ordinances that were passed at this council are all also available to the public. And when projects are approved at the planning board, that's a public meeting. People can come to. Those are advertised. And when the agency approved things, those are all publicly noticed and advertised and put out at meetings. And we always follow the law when it comes to those. Anthony, make sure.
Thank you, Mr. Criscola. Anyone else from the public, anyone wishing to address Council President? Please. Name?
Karen Scott, 26 Windsor Drive, East Brunswick. Mayor, council, I'm here tonight to weigh in my 2 cents on this feral cat issue, on 2 fronts. First, I'm a 60-plus-year-old resident of East Brunswick. I live in the Windsor Park section of town, which has had a horrible feral cat problem for years. As families moved in and out, so did the feral cat situation. This year and last year, due to a bunch of neighbors getting involved with TNR, we've seemed to have gotten a handle on the issue. Back in the day, when our ACO was related to our contracted shelter and that the policy was remove, never took care of the problem. Problem always existed. TNR has taken care of this problem in Windsor Park, which proves to me that TNR works. Now I put on my second hat. I'm currently the president of New Beginnings Animal Rescue. We are a local volunteer-run cat rescue that has been in operation for the past 10 years in East Brunswick. During that time, we've had to deal with, so many calls from our residents looking for help with feral and friendly cats in their neighborhood. And I only wish I had the ability to bill the township for the time that we have spent in addressing this issue. The phone calls always begin with, we tried animal control, but they were told they're not picking up any cats unless they're injured. And sometimes, maybe they may pick them up, maybe they won't. Then they go on to say that the shelter, which the township contracts with, is not accepting any cats. And that's a real shame, since New Jersey SA 4:19-5 specifically addresses both the ACOs picking up cats, and that a township does have a facility that's capable of handling its load. So I'm not really sure why the cat feels that there is a feral cat issue. I guess over the years, many residents have just given up hope that they will get township assistance and reach out to us, the rescue. And it's not the role of New Beginnings to solve this feral cat situation in town, nor do we work to determine even if that situation exists. All the township needs to do is ask your own dispatchers and your ACOs to account for these calls. We have recently, again, instructed those who call us to call the mayor's office as well as the ACOs through the police dispatchers. Who knows if they do? We really have no way of knowing. As stated earlier, TNR has been the only thing that has worked in my neighborhood. But you've heard this, it's not a local issue, it's a South River, it's a Saraville, it's a Spotswood. It is an issue that isn't going away. However the township decides to address it is on the township, but again, as the current president of New Beginnings Animal Rescue, it is not my responsibility to take care and calm down the residents of this town when they cannot find help for the feral cats or the sick cats or even their own cats that they cannot find a home for or help for, because Woodbridge Shelter is not accepting cats or the ACOs aren't available, and I could go on and on. We've sat in the past and talked with the police department, who at one time, and I'm not sure it was under your leadership, but the dispatchers were just, as soon as someone said feral cat, they would give New Beginnings phone number. And we were just inundated. And at that time, the township, who was an employee of the township, they didn't even have a scanner to scan any cats to find if they were chipped. They would come to us to ask to borrow our scanner. Now, things have changed, granted, and things are getting better, and the dispatchers are not giving them instantly our phone number. However, they really aren't giving the residents any help in these feral cat situations. And I do thank you for all that you do, and I hope that eventually, I doubt it because it's a statewide issue, but I do have hope that someday this issue can and may be resolved. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address, please?
Hello, my name is Diane Decker, 17 Parker Street in East Brunswick. I've been a resident for almost 65 years, and I'm here to support East Brunswick TNR and their newly proposed community cat ordinance. Last spring, someone either opened their door or dropped off 6 cats. And there was 4 females out of the 6, plus another 2 older cats were roaming the neighborhood having kittens. I worked with the group, and we got 4 cats spayed, which currently stay in my yard. I feed them. No rats in my neighborhood. We used to have a bad problem. No rats, no mice. And they don't bother anybody. So I'm hoping the council would, consider giving them what they need to help these cats. Because the cats that I have inside, I trapped them, called the vet, dropped them off in the cage, had them spayed, opened my door and let them in, and they're the best cats. So I'm just hoping everybody has a heart and wants to help. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak to Council President, please?
Hi there, good evening. My name is Shannon Brown. I am a resident of 18 Herbert Drive, and I wanted to address, piggybacking off of the last two residents, something that happened this evening. I apologize for being ill-prepared, but 3 hours ago, I didn't know I'd be standing here. I was taking my 2-year-old daughter for a walk this afternoon around our neighborhood, something we do regularly. She's just learning how to walk, she's just learning how to talk. She likes pointing out all of the animals that we see. And there's a house right around the corner that has anywhere from 10 to 15 cats that regularly lays around on the street or stay in the front yard. I don't know who their owner is. I don't know if they have homes. But this evening we stopped and we were talking to the kittens. My daughter was having a great time just watching all of these cats run around. And as we got up to walk away, I saw one of these cats, a maybe 3 to 4 month old kitten, run over by a car directly in front of us. It is hard enough being an animal lover and watching these animals not have somewhere to go, knowing that we don't have the resources as a group to trap these animals, to take these animals all to veterinarians. There's nowhere to take them even if we do have them vetted correctly, because as everyone else has mentioned, the shelters are full. But if we can have them properly vetted at least, this gives us an opportunity to stop younger cats from ending up on the streets, to lower their numbers over time. It does take time. It takes resources, and currently, those resources are unavailable. And as a result of those resources being unavailable, my child had to watch a kitten be killed on the street tonight. And so I came here tonight to talk to all of you, hoping that this will continue a dialogue. This, I know, will not be resolved overnight. I don't expect it to be resolved tomorrow. But I'd like everyone to be aware that this is an ongoing problem throughout the township. This is not an isolated incident. And we'd really like the support and the assistance to help these animals and to help prevent tragedies as the one I saw this evening. Thank you for your time.
Please.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mayor, President McAvoy. My name is Mary Ann Toich. I live at 5 Dale Road, obviously East Brunswick, resident for over 30 years. Just a quick statement. I have spoken before about the TNR, whatever it's called. A little nervous. In my neighborhood, there is one house that's got, I'll say conservatively, 20 cats. We've been working with TNR, and they are making a difference. It is a long process, but I just want to relate one story to you. First, I'd like to invite any one of you who think there isn't a problem in East Brunswick with feral cats, please come to my house, and I will take you for a tour, no charge. And I will show you the conditions that these cats are living in wooded areas, but more importantly, in neighborhoods. My neighborhood is overrun, but anyway, I took a cat to the Robbinsville People for Animals to get the animal fixed. And 2 people came up to me from East Brunswick and said they take the cats to get TNR'd on their own because they're afraid of the Township of East Brunswick. They're afraid if they get caught feeding these feral cats that they're going to get fined. They feel like the Township's response would be, let's give them fines for doing it against the ordinance. They're going to be fined for helping animals. I hope that's not the case. I know you guys have been saying you're going to work with us. TNR does make a difference. It has made a difference in my neighborhood. Last year, 15 kittens were removed from that property. This year, we've removed probably about 15. So far, we've fixed, I think, 13 or 14 cats, which means there hopefully won't be any more kittens this year. But again, I open my invitation to you. If you'd like to come to my house, I'd be more than happy to take you to these locations and let you see the feral cat problem there is in East Brunswick. Okay? Thank you very much for your time, and have a good evening.
Anyone else wishing to address Council President?
Mr. Mayor, Town Council, Mr. President. Just a couple of things of points of interest. I noticed on Gordon Street and Summer Hill Road, there's a telephone pole that's out like this. It's supported by another pole, but the pole that is all cracked. It's about this high. Somebody may get hurt. It's been down like that a while. So if you just check. It's on Gordon and Summer Hill Road.
Okay.
The other thing, there is some stuff going around with the senior tax freeze, who's eligible for it, in case seniors want to know. And the Anchors program is coming out now. But the application for senior freeze is due by, I think, October 1st, just to let you know.
Thank you.
And when are the water bills coming out again? I mean, the last one I got, I owed 18 months. I didn't know because it's estimated.
I'd have to get back to you on that one. I do not have that data.
I think the last one I got was in May. I don't know if it's in August, whatever. All right, then, I'm glad they caught that nut job that wanted to blow up the PSC&G substations. It was from East Brunswick, I heard. And what do you call it? And my property faces a green belt in the back, right? There's trees back there that hang over my property. Could they be cut down on the expense of other people, or is it my responsibility?
Is it someone's property behind you?
No, it's like the water easement. The water drains into this thing.
Mr. Criscuolo, you want to comment on that?
I'd have to look at it.
Same here. I have to see it.
Okay, it's, I forget the name of the developments behind it. They take care of it, they mow it. But 10 years ago, lightning hit a tree, knocked down on my side. It cost me over $1,000 at that time to clean up the mess. So there are branches hanging over. I do get nervous. I see stuff that may get hit by lightning again. I just wanted to know if they could take care of it. And other than that.
President McAvoy?
Please.
You're allowed by law to cut anything that's over.
Hanging over, right.
Hanging over your property. So you're allowed to cut up with your property line.
But these are big trees.
You're allowed to cut up on your property line.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say it's on their side, could that be taken down?
It's up to they own the tree.
All right, let's look at it if you could, that's all. And that's about all I have to say, and thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anyone else wishing to address the council president? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion. Moving on to our consent agenda. Before I ask for separation, before I get to separation, Resolution 237, Councilwoman Winston, is that the number we're chatting about?
Council President, I believe our mayor has adequately addressed that
Oh, okay,
earlier
so
in
we're
his
good.
report. So we
Yeah,
can
the
move
ice,
on.
it's the ice rink, so that's been covered. And 239, the coach bus, anything that the township needs to know there, Mr. Criscuolo?
Sure. As everybody knows, Coach USA is now in Chapter 11, and we were due to upgrade or go out for a new bid. What we are doing at this particular time, and with advice and consent of our township attorney and the staff at his law firm, we see that it's best that we just do a 2-month extension of that current contract for now because there's no other providers. And we met with Coach USA, and there's the bankruptcy court is looking to make whatever parts of their business is solvent and naturally have it bought off by other firms. So we met with them last week, and we felt that as a stopgap member that if we extend our contract for 2 months, it was in the best interest of our residents and commuters that go to New York from the 2 transportation centers. I don't know if Anthony has anything else to add, but he was in on that call as well.
Yes, in order to ensure the continuation of commuter bus services and to allow Coach USA to complete its bankruptcy filing, which would take about 60 days, we believe it's in the best interest and authorized under the emergency contract provision in the local public contracts law to extend the existing contract for an additional 60 days up until September 15th of this year.
Thank you. Could I have a motion for, anything else need to be separated? Could I have a motion for resolutions 24-224 through resolution 24-240?
So move.
And a second?
Second,
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall?
yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes. And the ordinance 24-22, we pulled that. That's been removed. For the good of the cause.
This weekend is the VFW 5K.
Yeah.
If anybody's interested, there's still applications, or, you can still sign up. Just go to the VFW's website, and you'll be able to see it there.
Councilwoman Winston?
I would just like to share a little, to piggyback on Sam Mattis' legacy, an East Brunswick connection to the Olympics, this year's Olympics. The Gutter family used to live, I believe, on Stratford Road, formerly very involved in the Buffaloes organization. Great people, great family. I went to school with their daughter Kim, and Kim's daughter, Allie Wilson, is now running the 800-meter in the Olympics in Paris.
Wow.
So we have a small connection there I thought I'd share. For anyone
That's
who knows the
great.
Gutter family, go look up Allie Wilson. You'll see she's a spitting image of Mom.
Okay, then with regard to adjournment, can I have a motion by signifying with aye? The ayes have it. Good night. Dinesh had something, I beg your pardon.
Motion and second.
No, second. The ayes have it. Good night.